stay with you if you stay with me.
You're listening to the voice of women. It's not just talk, but it will take you. We play everything and we play them better.
Time stands still when I'm with you. I feel love when I'm with you, and the feeling is true. I find peace when I'm with you, and my peace when I'm with you, and it's only with you. Girl, for this moment, so long I've waited. God made me patient, and you were there. I'm addicted and I love it, and I'll be honest, I'm not the strongest, but I fight for you. There'll never be a moment in time that I won't think about you, 'cause I'm incomplete without you. Waited so long to find you, I might lose sleep tonight, 'cause finally my dreams come true. I was created for you, you were my angel. I'll move mountains for you, all my love is for you. Say the word and I'll do, just say the I can't imagine my life without you. Everything I've been true, I wanna be my world around you. Ooh.
15 minutes past the hour of 9 on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. This is Adult Conversations on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. Good evening. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajama, and thank you all for joining me this evening, Thursday, the 10th of February, 2022. How are you? I hope your day has been beautiful, lovely, productive as well. I welcome you to Adult Conversations, where we share real-life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Here in Adult Conversations, you give all the advice by contributing on the subject matter without judging. Contributing on the subject matter without judging. Adult Conversations on Women Radio runs every Monday through Thursday because we are here to break the culture of silence. So if you have a story that you want us to bring to the family of Adult Conversations, please send your story along with your name and contact number to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Remember, send your name, your contact number, as well as your story. Tonight on Adult Conversations, he has bad temper. He has bad temper. My name is Chika, 43, and a trader. My husband is 46 and a driver. We have 6 children. My husband is always angry because however, it doesn't mean that he should be disrespectful. He uses hurtful words on me and the children. It gets frustrating when the man that's supposed to support you ridicules you. Please advise me. Chika is 43. She's a trader. She's married. Her husband is 46 and a driver, and they both have 6 children. Chika says her husband is always an angry man because of finances. But she also says he doesn't need to be disrespectful because of finances. He uses hurtful words on her and the children. She says it gets frustrating when the man who's supposed to support you ridicules you. And she says, please advise me. The number to call to give Chika some advice tonight is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can also send a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Then also anywhere you are in the world, you can listen via the stream link, www.wfm917.com. www.wfm917.com. As I always say, when you call in, ensure to turn down the volume of your radio. It's important that you do that so that we can hear you and we can avoid any form of interference. We can have a smooth flow of conversation and literally everything will be perfectly fine. Also, please, when you call in, don't stay too long on the phone lines so that we can get opinions and advice from as many people as possible. Also, make sure that you keep your advice short, simple, and constructive. Keep your advice short, simple, and constructive. Remember, we do not judge on adult conversations, so please refrain from being judgmental, condemning of any other person's opinion, or even accusing anyone or debasing anyone, particularly the person whose story is being profiled. As always, we take messages off the Adult Conversations family platform first on WhatsApp, and then we open the phone line. Tonight, we're beginning with Tokpe from Ikorodu. Tokpe says, good evening to everyone in the house. To Chika, you did not tell us how old the 6 children are. There'll always be tension in the house as children get older in age and academic pursuits. The moment the income can no longer match the expenses in the house, the man gets upset at every slightest provocation. My advice? Be calm with your husband each time he's boiling, because 2 wrongs can never make a right. You and your hubby should think about other means of increasing the source of income for the family. Cut off unnecessary expenses to save money for family pressing needs. Put your children in schools your income can accommodate without compromising quality. And go to the Lord in prayers for divine help and breakthrough. So that's what Tokwe from Ikorodu says. Kolawole from Ilupeju is saying, good evening all. Chika, you have to drink water of patience. You have to have shock absorber and be ready to avoid putting much financial pressure on him. The major advice is triple your hustle and make more and more money. Your contribution to housekeeping must double his own, because as a driver, he doesn't earn much. So the onus is on you to sustain your marriage. God, in his infinite mercies, will give you wisdom. And that's from Kolawole from Ilupeju. All right, Chinwe from Ejigbo is the next person messaging. And she's saying, good evening, lady. Avoid those things that make him angry. Be helpful to him financially, since you have noticed that his source of income is limited. And that's from Chinwe from Ejigbo. Please keep your messages coming in. The number to call is 07000-917-917, and we're opening the phone lines now. Also, you can send text WhatsApp messages to 0703-175-6537. 0703-175-6537. All right, so I'm just going to read some of the messages that we're getting. And after that, then you can start calling, because Chika wants to hear from you and she wants to know what to do. Her husband is using hurtful words on her and the children because he is financially disadvantaged, or he is crumbling under financial pressure, and he's always angry. So she's saying, what do I do? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is Becky from Ogun State.
Hello, Becky. Thank you for calling. Are you calling for the first time?
Yeah, this first time caller.
Thank you, Becky. That's for you. All right. So what do you have to say? What is your advice to Chika tonight?
My advice, I do pass through what she just said now, but so my advice for her is just to be patient.
Okay.
You should be patient because of the children, and God will give her the wisdom to follow the man. So
she should apply more patience then.
Yeah, you should apply more patience because of the kids. Because I didn't mean there is no kids. Could have just asked her to find a level. Because of the children, you should just know the way you do things.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Chika.
Advice.
Thank you very much for calling.
Bye.
Okay, so yes, she's saying that Chika should be more patient. Becky is saying that Chika should be more patient and she should be more considerate of her children. Particularly, she's advising patients actually because of the children in question now. So she's saying if there were no children, fill in the gap. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. But now that you not just have children, but you have 6 children, she's saying that you should be more patient so that you can, apply wisdom and know what to do, particularly because your children are involved. So in case you're just joining, this is Adult Conversations and your Women Radio WFM 91.7. And here we discuss real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Tonight, the story is all about Chika. Chika is 43. She's a trader. Her husband is 46. He's a driver, and they have 6 children. Chika doesn't say how long they've been married, so that's the first question I'm going to ask. Chika, if you're listening, you need to tell us how long you and your husband have been married for. How long have you been a couple? And yes, before all these 6 children came about, how long have you been married for? And you say your husband is always angry because of finances. Has this always been the case? Has this always been the case, or is this a recent development? Now, the reason I ask this is because if this has always been the case, if he's always been worried about money and he has always been acting angry when he's worried about money, then this is something that Chika has been experiencing for quite a long time. But if it's a recent development, then you can trace it back maybe to his job, maybe to something that happened. You can basically do your best to pin it down to something. So that's why I'm asking, how long have you been married? And how long has he been acting all angry as a result of finances? So if you can answer some of these questions, it will be awesome if you can, so that we can get a more rounded point of view as we give advice. Yes, so Chika is asking, what do I do? He is disrespectful. Actually, she says, however, it doesn't mean that he should be disrespectful. He uses hurtful words on her and the children. So she says, it gets frustrating when the man that's supposed to support you ridicules you. Another question would be what Becky asked earlier. Or actually, this was in reference to one of the messages from earlier. Let me find that. Okay. Kola Willis said, the major advice is triple your hustle and make more money. Your contribution to housekeeping must double his own, because as a driver, he doesn't earn much. Now, sometimes you work for people who are well-to-do, and even as a driver, you may still get a good amount of money. Maybe not like if you work maybe like a cab or something. If you work for a certain set of people, a certain creme de la creme, rich people, you could be earning higher than regular drivers who work for people within that middle tax bracket earn. So if you're a regular person, if somebody who works a 9 to 5 and earns maybe 150K a month employs a driver, the person will probably pay like 40, 50K to the driver per month. But if you're working for somebody who earns about 500K or that kind of money, or who even runs their own company or their own business, then as a driver, you'll be earning significantly more than 50,000 naira. So that's what I mean. I don't know what kind of people he works for, so we can't really say exactly how much he earns. Also, it would be nice to know the range of money that you make as well, so that we can understand, the amount of income that comes into the family on a day-to-day basis or on a monthly basis, if we can put it on the whole. All right, so I don't want to do too much talking. As always, this is Adult Conversations. You call in, give advice, and then we just talk about it. But I need you to call in because Chika is saying her husband is consistently angry because of finances. And what that indicates, basically, from everything she said, it's more because of a lack of finances than because of the presence of finances. So her husband doesn't make too much money or doesn't have too much money, and he gets angry consistently because of that. And he takes out this anger on Chika and her children by saying some really, really hurtful things. Chika doesn't feel supported, and she's saying it's frustrating when the man who's supposed to support you ridicules you, and she's asking for advice. Let's do what we do best in Adult Conversations and give advice to Chika tonight. The number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. That's the number to call. So call in and let Chika hear what you have to say about it, possibly impact somebody's life tonight by giving some good advice. As I always say, if this has been your reality at any point in time, if this has been your reality, if you have lived through somebody who doesn't earn, if you have lived through a relationship or a marriage with somebody who doesn't earn a lot and you have a lot of financial responsibilities, how do you handle this? This is something that is relatively common with men, actually. When they don't have a lot of money, you can see it in their faces. You can see it in the way they act, the way they behave. It takes a certain kind of man with a certain degree of maturity, emotional intelligence, respect for his family to keep all that baggage at the door when he's coming into the house. Some people just don't care and they just, do it anyway because they feel like that's how bad they feel and they need that feeling to be validated. But to a large extent, Chika is saying that her husband is not the kind of person who leaves it all at the door. He brings it home and he's consistently angry. She's saying, my husband is always angry. That's quote unquote what Chika has said. Her husband is always angry because of finances. Now, for Pigeon, they will talk, say, this kind man go be the kind of person who go come out house with straight face, come back, come dey vex unnecessary because the money no day. So for this kind of matter now, Chika, they talk to her husband, they do this thing and they do it well. To the point, say, the husband, they take out this anger on top her and her children and they talk some kind of things when she know too like. And of course, because her husband are 46 and 42, they don't marry small, you don't take small, and they get 6 children. So waiting in the advice, say, make Chika do. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good evening. I need you to turn down the volume of your radio, please.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Can you turn down the volume of your radio for me, please?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. I still need you to turn down the volume of that radio. I can hear the feedback very clearly and it's interrupting. Can you turn it down? Turn it down, please.
Okay, it's been turned down.
Yes, please do that.
All right. The issue there is, I'm going to tell my sister, it's just grace of God and an understanding of the times. Because there's no man in that condition that will be very happy because of the children. So whenever the time to come home reaches, he will not feel happy. And when he's at home, see the children, he will not feel happy. The only thing there is to kneel down and ask God for the enablement, grace, and pray for the man that God should lead him in every area. Circumstances will come, trials will come, tribulations will come, but all depends on him. Whom is going to depend on? Almighty God, who has created him. My advice to him, or to the house generally, is for them to look up to God. The Bible says in the book of Jeremiah 33 verse 3, if you call upon me, I will answer you, and I will show you great and mighty things which thou knowest not. So every goal depends on God. Treasures depend on God. And God will make a way for him.
All right.
So let him not be angry. And let the woman just kneel down and pray to God that, Lord, this is my husband. I love him. He loves the family. Make a way for us. And things will sit fine.
Okay.
That is my advice for him.
Thank you very much for calling. Can you tell me your name and where you're calling from, please?
My name is Sam. I'm calling from Ogun State.
Why in Ogun State, Sam?
In Abole.
Alagbole. Okay, thank you. Sam, are you calling for the first time? Are you a first-time caller?
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you calling.
God bless.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your advice. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right, so that's Sam calling from Alagbole. And Sam is saying in this case that there's not much that she can do, particularly because this is normal. He says this is normal for a man because he doesn't have money. So he's going out, coming back. Every time he's coming back, he will already feel sad because of the children that are at home that he can't really take care of. So he says the only thing that he's advising Chika to do now is to go on her knees. He said that emphatically, to go on her knees and pray to God, who is the source of all treasures and all riches, to provide for her husband, herself, and of course, her family. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your
Thank
name
you.
and where are you calling from? Oh, Ziggy.
Yeah, my name is Ziggy.
All right.
I'm calling from Bedford.
Hello,
How are you doing
Ziggy.
today?
Thank you for calling. My day has been good. How about you?
I'm good.
Awesome. Awesome.
My day has been great as always.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Right.
Yes.
My advice for my sister,
Mm-hmm.
because she's the one that is asking for the advice
Yes.
because of what is happening at home. She really needs the advice. That is why she has to bring it for us to know what to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
My advice for her is this. Number one, she has to go on her knees and pray. Commit the husband and the children into the hand of God. And secondly, she has to focus on her trade and the children. Whatever that always gives her husband hope. She has said one is the children because of no money or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's not peculiar to her. It's also in so many homes in Nigeria. So, in order for her and for the children also, for the home not to break because of the attitude of the husband,
Mm-hmm.
she has to focus on the children and on herself, and not to go into arguments with the husband, because obviously the attitude of the husband is pissing her off also. But she has to know that two wrongs cannot make a right, and when one is hot, the other one has to be calm. So since her husband is always the one that is always hot, let her be the calming person. She has been matured all this while. For her to bring it for us to discuss about it shows that she's matured about it.
And probably exhausted to a
And
large extent.
exhausted also.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
she
if
has
we're looking
run
at
out
it
of.
from the exhaustion perspective, how much longer can she handle this? How much longer do you think she can take this?
It's forever now.
No, I mean the fact that he's always angry. The marriage is forever, but how much longer can she take the fact that he's always angry and he's always saying hurtful words to herself and the children? If you look at it from this perspective, Ziggy, you can divide the two situations. The angry man because of finances. Every man will feel like that. You know, you can't really provide. So it takes a little bit of your soul, like, because you're sad that you can't give your family the best. So that's part one. The part two now is the part that gets me as a person. The fact that because of that anger, you transfer that aggression, or so Nigerians will say, on your wife and children. Your wife probably can handle it because she's known you for quite a while. But your children now, do they have to suffer for some of that as well?
You know, that is why I said something when I started. She has to commit it into the hand of God. Secondly, she is the one that is asking for the advice now. Had it been her husband, I could have known what to tell the husband. Okay? Because she is the one now, she's at the receiving end. The man, in my own words, he may not know what he is doing. He may be angry, and before you knew it, after, bouncing on her or on the wife and the children, not by keeping, but by words and all that. Such a person can just take the exit door and go and hang out with the boys. Maybe take some 1 or 2 drinks. Before you knew it, he does not care what the wife and the children is going through at home. So a kind of the wife, the thing is telling on her. She's the one now asking for our advice. So in my own advice, just for the sake of the children, she has to calm down, focus on her trade, pray, because now she can't change the husband's attitude. Only God can do that. So she has to commit that attitude of the husband to the hand of God for him to change the man's mind, because he is not the only one going through that.
Yes.
And secondly, there is no way he's angry that his anger can put food on the table. So if the man is smart enough, he will know that he will look for solution, not being angry.
All right. Thank you very
The
much,
wife
Ziggy.
is not the source of her lack, or the children is the source of her lack. She and he have a lot of mouth to feed. So being angry cannot feed the children. So you have to calm down. She herself
Okay.
has
Thank
to
you.
calm down. And
Thank you
both
very
of them,
much, Ziggy.
it will work out fine.
All
Thanks a
right.
lot.
Thank you. Okay, so in a nutshell, Ziggy is saying that chicas should just do what he's echoing, basically something that Sam said earlier, which is the fact that she should pray about it, commit it to the hands of God. But he's also adding that she should calm down, because two wrongs do not make a right. If he's consistently hot and angry and bothered all the time, and he's hurting her verbally and emotionally, and okay, not physically, just verbally and emotionally, and he's saying all these hurtful words to her and her children, that Ziggy said he doesn't see the need for her to be on that same wavelength. So somebody must calm down. And in this case, since he's the one that's upset, she has to be the one to calm down for the sake of the children. Second thing he said is that she needs to make him understand that there's nothing that she can do about it, because she's not the source of the problem, but that he should also take matters into his hands and try to find solution to the problem rather than consistently get annoyed. This is WFM 91.7. This is still Adult Conversations, where we discuss real life issues and matters relating to the heart.
My better people better don't land. Ives Medicare HMO now one of that ogbonge health maintenance organization where our government stamp gidigba for health insurance matter. My country people, why you go sick before you cover yourself? What if money no dey when you fall sick? Ives Medicare HMO get better health plan and benefit for organized private sector, schools, communities, and even private individuals and families. Ives Premium for all their plans dey pocket friendly. Na shikini money. Ives Hospital Network na all over Naija. Dem fit help you arrange treatment for obodo oyinbo. Their head office na number 2 Osho Street, Okpe Link Bridge, off Okpebi Road, Ikeja, Lagos. For more information, call 080-93-555-863 or 080-3263-9058. Ives Medicare, health protection in your columns.
What are the consequences of corruption on the woman? Silence. Silence through diverse forms. Education, healthcare, laws and policies fostering unfavorable conditions to the woman at all levels. The Woman Agenda, breaking that silence, demanding accountability, transparency and good governance. The Woman Agenda is deliberate and calculative in amplifying the voice of women. The Woman Agenda, Fridays 2 p.m. on Women Radio 91.7, a platform on the way forward.
I feel that there's some sort of lack of professionalism in this, because we're talking about 100 lives.
Government has also put in place a structure to make it look like what they have in mind.
How do we stop crime in the society? Because at the end of the day, if a man cannot provide for his wife anymore, he looks for other means.
We should address Nigerian problems.
Yes, Panorama.
Mondays through Fridays from 9:15 a.m.
On WFM 91.7, we'll bring you ladies from across Nigeria's political zones, dissecting, discussing, and disagreeing on topical issues of the day. You too can join the conversation by tweeting us at WFM 917 with the hashtag Panorama. WFM 91.7, Voice of Women.
The The big question.
Corruption is, in fact, is increasing more. We never had a snake and whether python and swallowing more.
Why?
Everything has increased.
Conversational, controversial, and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays through Fridays at 12:15 p.m. on Your Women Radio WFM 91.7. 16 minutes to the hour of 10 on Your Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is the Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Tonight, the story we're profiling is that of Chika. Chika is 43. She's a trader. Her husband is 46 and a driver. They both have 6 children. Chika's complaint tonight is that her husband is always angry because of finances. Because of finances, or you can call it because of money. Her husband is always angry because of money. However, she says, it doesn't mean that he should be disrespectful. He uses hurtful words on me and the children. It gets frustrating when the man who's supposed to support you ridicules you. And she says, please advise me. The number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can also send in a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Okay, let me take the call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Friday from Ogun State, Ibadan.
Friday from Ibafo. Thank you for calling. Friday, are you a first-time caller?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Yes, please go ahead. What is your advice to Chika?
Please, I want to make it snappy.
Okay.
My advice to both of them, to the husband, as a driver, I think he has to increase his capacity for more opportunity to come in. As a driver, if you are driving a car, to increase your capacity, you have to go and learn more skills about. Maybe you go for a truck driving, or if you are a personal driver to someone, you can increase your capacity by going for a cab. I think that will really help, so that there will be more money coming in. Then for the woman, my advice to the woman is they need to go into fasting and prayer, deliberate fasting and prayer. Very important. If the children can join.
If the children can join.
Yes.
Okay.
On behalf of
the parents.
Father.
Okay.
After the father went out, the woman and the children should go for fasting. Very good, fasting and prayer. And whenever the man is going out in the morning, she should pray. To make sure she prays that God will bless the work of his hands. So I believe with this, everything will be fine. Very soon.
Okay. Friday, before I let you go, let me ask you a question. The fasting and prayer, what's the purpose? What's the fasting and prayer supposed to achieve? Because he's working. It's not that he's not working. He's working. So what's the fasting and prayer supposed to achieve specifically, in your opinion?
Okay, it's just like a prayer point now. The first prayer point will be, God, open my husband's eyes. The prayer point is, open my husband's eyes to see the opportunities around. Open my inner eyes, my husband's inner eyes to see the opportunity around. Then make a way where there is no way. Then bless my husband. That is all.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Friday. Thank you for calling. Okay. So Friday answered Chika's question, or gave advice to Chika and her husband. He says that for Chika, she should pray. She should keep praying and go into fasting and prayer. She and her husband, and if possible, also the children, should go into joint fasting and prayers. And I asked, okay, so what's the benefit of this prayer? Yes, we know that prayer can change things and turn things around. There is no doubt that that can happen. But sometimes we put all the responsibility in the hands of God, and then we don't do anything for ourselves. We don't do anything to better our situation. So in a case like this, I'm wondering, where does fasting and prayer come in? I mean, even the Bible literally says that faith without works is dead. So if you're not doing anything and you're leaving God to just handle everything, that makes you lazy, and God doesn't do complacency. So what was the benefit? And he said, okay, the whole point of it is to pray for him, for his eyes to be open to see opportunities, for him to be blessed, and for God to make a way where there seems to be no way. So he's saying that should be like the focal point of their prayers, to which I can completely understand in this case. All right, so what is your thought on the matter? Now, bear in mind that it's not just the fact that he's worried about finances that's the issue here. That is you could say that that's at the core of the issue, but his expression of this challenge now, which is the lack of finances, is the way he relates with his wife and his children, which is what I believe is bringing Chika to this adult conversation table today. She's bringing this largely not just because her husband is financially limited, but also because of how he's expressing his grief or his lapses right now, his financial lapses right now. She's saying he's always hurling hurtful words at her and the children. I'm coming to what that can tentatively mean in a little bit. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Santo.
Comrade.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well done. Everybody.
Work there. Thank you. I'm doing everything today.
I did fine now because of this fuel issue there, but thank God to say I don't buy fuel since Friday. I not go collect this their nonsense and the bunkum and the ogri and the oba and the potassium and the sulfur fuel.
Where they sell,
the minister is not telling us this. They are not telling us say they are not to be blamed. No, now my grandfather they have to blame. It's in a sinner climb, in short, all of them they for flood the 1,000 lashes, 1,000 pieces of lashes, and they maybe in the army or be also the resettlement army could slap them one by one. In a sinner climb, back to the topic.
Thank you. Yes.
This driver, we be say this woman that complain say is now shouting, it's not transferring aggression. Now the woman ain't cause him. Now coming to the woman's side, whereby in gets more money, is she helping the family? I mean, is she using the money? What we say in get now they do the man shakara? Is she giving him at least food to eat? Maybe saying don't get the money now. Is she passing water for him to bath? Are they sanitizing together? I mean, the money when he don't get it, don't enter her brain. There must be a reason why the man is complaining now. The man is not the madman. Somebody just call now and say they enter fasting and prayer. They go enter fasting and prayer. Oh. They go enter fasting and prayer well. I support that one. But what I want to tell you is say, you see that man, she should discuss with his wife. The woman should cook well one night, clear everywhere, put the phone, wash her tongue and her teeth well. 2 a.m. wake up, say, darling, honey, olólùfẹ́ mi, kí ló mo ṣe fún ẹ? As they take talk to me, Oti Shagwamoku, as they take talk to me, and me like, kilo shell, what is the problem? You know, point that away not to talk, not to open mouth and tell the woman waiting the warrior. 2 a.m. Put the phone well. If you can wear a gun, or you will be transparent, smell well, cook well, the better soup. 2 a.m. Wake up, make a discuss. That one will stop that day. I'm telling you, the man will change. Don't do everything we pray and fast and carry.
Okay.
I will call back.
No. Before you go, Comrade, let me just ask you something.
Okay, ask me. I get my credit is reach 2,000 naira. Ask me.
Don't worry, we're not going to finish your credit. Make I just ask you this one now.
So I get 2,000 ask me. We can talk 1 hour. We can talk no hour. Holiday.
I know. If for grand. Okay. So as you don't talk, say make the woman, cook food for her and do everything. Make sure they ask her a question. You think this the way they talk now? Wait now, comrade. Make we the maybe reason together now. So this the way they talk, say me she do now. For your mind now, you the feel say she never tried them before. She never sit down ask her and say waiting they really up. Why the guy they verse unnecessarily? You think say she never talked around.
Okay. She said what about the case? Intel is saying no put the food. Intel is saying no good food. Don't be just what they provide and we go talk. Intel like that. We don't know now.
Wait now, comrade. So what you're saying now, waiting they try to talk now be say even though she don't follow and talk before, now this time make she put extra effort, make she cook wear perfume, do everything.
Make it clear the pubic hair and the armpit hair and look fine.
All right. Well, thank you very much, comrade. Absolutely, I understand what you're saying. All right, thank you so much. All right, so that's comrade. And comrade is basically saying that the woman, Chika, actually needs to have a conversation with her husband and talk about the reason that he's acting this way. She's saying that he's saying that she should, dress, pamper herself a little bit, look good, cook for him properly, really, really feed him, and then wake him up at 2 a.m. and sit him down and really ask him what the reason for his consistent anger is. Now, bear in mind that she has already said that the reason he's upset is because of finances. So it's not that she doesn't know, but to a large extent, comrade is saying this. So maybe if there's any other thing that is tailoring or that is tailing actually this anger, apart from the lack of finances or whatever effect this lack of finances is having on him, he would potentially open up to her and get her to understand, so to speak, or so he says. All right, so that's comrade's opinion. I'm going to go to the text messages. Of course, you can still keep your calls coming in and we can have a more productive conversation. But I do need to draw your attention to something. Hello, good evening.
Hello, some
Chichi, how about you now?
I do, but it's been cyclone. How are you?
I did. How are you now? How was your day today?
I did for God, though. My advice to Sheka is because this thing that you are preferring tonight is just exactly what one of my sisters is passing through, no different. They hear me. Even I used to pay them visit. I used to see everything by myself. Whereby the man will come back home. He will just be beating the children anyhow. For unnecessary, no reason. Maybe probably that day did not sell anything. He will be using the children to pass the anger. I don't know how to put it. Talking to my sister anyhow. And I called the man one day. I said, each time you come home, your children cannot run. Daddy, welcome. They will be afraid of you. It's not good. Even if you didn't say market, don't use the anger on these children. Whenever these children see you, they will be scaring. They will be scared away. They will not like to come close to you. If they want to explain something to you or ask you questions, they will just be afraid of you. Are you not their father? And my sister said, this is what she has been telling him. Every time, he will not bring it. See, this one now, I'm listening to them, they are saying fast and prayer. My sister has prayed. In fact, he's the kind of person that he can endure. She's a good sister. She can endure. The husband will not bring anything, and he will be shouting in the house. The sister will do everything. He will pay the children school fees. And yet, you as a man who cannot be happy, you will still be shouting. I just tell my sister, be patient, accept your faith, keep on praying for him. Tell your children, whenever the children see you, I used to be there, whenever the children see you, they will just be very quiet, and this thing is not good. And I will just be watching them. You understand me, son? My sister has prayed. Sometimes, woman, we cannot kill ourselves. Man, they will be saying, pray. If it's the woman, if the case is Oliver, would that be saying all this stuff? You understand me? We women, say we come this life to kill ourselves.
No. The answer to that is no. Well, Chichi, thank you very much for calling. Thank you so much.
Right. Yeah.
Good night. All right. So Chichi is saying that somebody she knows is actually going through this right now. And according to her, this person is a very good person. This is somebody who has been enduring this for a significant period of time. And this is something her husband does, which is what Chika is also saying, that her husband is always so upset about finances. And he takes it out by saying all these hurtful things to her and the children. So Chichi is saying that she has told the woman in question to just accept her fate and keep praying and just, do her best to just do what she can do, which is pay the fees, take care of the man, take care of the house, take care of the children, do everything that she can. And hopefully the situation will change. Now, I just, before I say something else, let me just say that why are we putting the spiritual responsibility of the family on the woman? To a large extent, I'm sure that most of us must have grown up in homes where our mothers were the prayer warriors. Our mothers were the ones who used to pray for us when we're going to school, when we come back, when we want to go to the market, everything, just consistent prayers, even when we're not there. But when you get married, your husband becomes your spiritual covering. So why is it that it's the woman now that should have all this financial responsibility? Or is what we're trying to say that now, because the man is facing a tough time, he may not have the motivation to pray and to bring the family to a place of spiritual stability, so to speak. And now the woman should share this responsibility because he's not in a good place to do that. Is that what we're trying to say? Well, while you ruminate over that, I also want to bring our attention to this. Chika is saying that her husband keeps saying hurtful things to her and her children. I asked this question earlier, but we haven't gotten any response from Chika yet. How long has this been going on? How long has this been going on? Was there a time where he used to do very well and everything was okay? And maybe he had less children at the time, or maybe he still had 6 children, but maybe they were much younger and everything was fine financially with him. Or did this start recently? Did he go through a downward spiral financially and then this started? The reason I'm asking this is if Chika has been going through this for a long time, and by long time, I don't necessarily mean like 8, 10 years. It could be just 3 years. I mean, just imagine the person you married who's supposed to be your rock, supposed to be your motivator, your supporter, your own cheerleader, the person who keeps motivating you every day, now ridicules you at every turn and just talks down on you, basically. There's such a thing as verbal abuse. And that's something that we need to understand. Abuse doesn't just happen when the man hits the woman or vice versa, when the woman hits the man. All that is physical abuse. There's verbal abuse, there's intellectual abuse, there's financial abuse. So in this case, this would be referred to as verbal abuse. Now, if this goes on consistently, it affects your self-esteem, it affects your sense of self-worth, it affects your reasoning, it affects your peace, and it affects your productivity to a large extent, because somebody who you're looking up to tell you good things, to affirm you, to make you feel better, is now the person who knows all your secrets, by the way, knows all your insecurities, knows all the things that make you angry, all your, all the things that go on with you and your children. And now they're using those things against you, talking down on you, making you feel small just because finances are not going the way that they should. Now, I'm not saying that as a man, this is not understandable. When I say as a man, I'm not a man, but what I mean is typically when men go through financial difficulty, this happens, not the anger part specifically, but the fact that they feel that they're not complete because of the inability to properly provide. So it's normal. But now that expression, the fact that he's always saying hurtful things to Chika and her children, Now, that's very worrisome. And if this is something that has been going on for a while, then the impact is what Chichi was saying that is happening with her friend's situation now. The children fear you, they can't talk around you. You've suppressed all their childish elements, because whenever you get there, they just cower. Now, this will happen. This has a lot of impact, actually, in the way they grow, in the way they process information, in the way they answer to authority figures as they grow older. So there's a lot of ripple effects about this particularly, and I needed to point that out. So when we're talking about the current situation, we're not just talking about the finances. We're talking about the emotional trauma that this is having on Chika and her children. And this could go on for years. So what is your best advice to Chika right now? Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Thank you for calling.
Tonto, now comrade, calling back.
Comrade, Afan, I'm waiting one talk.
What I want to talk is another one. The woman should check whether the husband is feeling insecure and the type of friend the woman is keeping. It can never be overemphasized that maybe the woman, she has started acting out, acting somehow. Because you get one of my village sister, anytime when carrying children, go market, go buy something, clothes, he no go tell them, say, my husband give her money to buy the clothes, he go to claim, say, I him get the money, now he go to take charge. And the children may not respect that man again. So there must be an atom and a synthetic character. Let me reiterate. Some atom and synthetic character that the woman may be inwardly trying to showcase. Because that man is not a worry. That man does not have something might have prompted this. Because if you are telling me, say, the man is somehow financial bankrupt, so that the woman calls them, that the children were in the fight for custom, there must be what we call mini brand of Plubogger. Omi Oti Wole New Show. Omi Oti Wole New Show. So there is something that the next something. Something make them do what we call. So there must be a problem.
Comrade, let me interject here.
Okay.
The woman doesn't necessarily need to do anything for the man to act this way. Now, this is not to say that he gets some things where she feel no they do. I know that marriage. She feel they carry chest now because she they pay for things they do. But that don't wait, let me finish, comrade. Make I finish now.
Okay. Some women do it.
Women do it, but not all women do it. As a matter of fact, most women don't do that. Most women don't do that. I grew up in a home where my father was jobless for like 15 years. And you would never know. Because when my mom comes back from work after making money, she doesn't necessarily need to give him cash, but she's buying all the things, she's doing everything. When her brother sent her a car from Jand, now my father, they drive her, she they enter bus, go to school where she they teach. And you will not know. We they go village every year that time. She they buy clothes, they do everything now from her money, and then she go reach there that time. All of them come they hear my father like say now in the do am. But nobody, I didn't even me where they talk. I didn't even know about this until I was in like senior secondary school. What's my point here is she may be doing this, but there's a larger possibility that she's not doing this. The man is probably just upset because he's not doing what he feels he should be doing as a man, forgetting that as a husband, your main focus should not always be about the money. Men are wired to provide, but in cases where you cannot, you can do other things. You can be a huge support system for the family. You can take off all the load of the children off her and support and do something. Now, this guy Matasef even gets sense because he still they work. Not be saying no, they work, saying they are for the children. The guy still they work. So why is all the anger stemming from the lack of finances? And now you're taking out all this anger on your wife and children. Do you see my point
That is
now?
why I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you. The man may be feeling insecure. Maybe the woman don't get money pass him.
Okay, so what's the solution to insecurity now that the man is feeling?
So now is that 2 a.m. talk.
Okay, so it goes back to that.
I've seen a woman, a banker, who buy a husband 10 million naira car.
Okay.
Who open blogging industry, and nobody know. Now the woman will tell the man, hey, just kill your friend, kill your friend, take a loss of club, kill your friend. They don't know that the woman give her 10 million naira car. But the majority of women, they go to do, they go to do like Yokozuna, and then I buy them, let me do this one. Majority of them,
it's not majority. It's not majority, comrade. Some women, it's not majority.
There are some, yes, no, some, because there are certain things where do I know whether this woman don't discuss with them? A thing where they give us this night, they provide, like we go advise. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Basically everything that he has said is what he sent in his messages. So, comrade, there's no need to read the message because you don't talk all the thing where you don't send for message for a phone call. But he's basically saying that chances are that this woman is beginning to become proud and unnecessarily she's exerting unnecessary authority now, which is possibly making her husband feel insecure, which is possibly making him feel insecure around the house. And this insecurity, it might also be responsible for the way he's, easily angered and all the hurtful things he's saying to her and the children. So he's basically saying that if this is something she's doing, she should, quit doing it so that she can build up his self-esteem again and he can feel like a man, even though he might not be the one making all the money or providing as much as he wants to. Now, there are situations where the man, where things like this happen and we hear, oh, fast, pray, and all of that. I did say that faith without works is dead. And when I was talking about that, I was talking about the possibility that maybe the man needs to do more. Maybe the man just needs to do more. He's a driver, yes. I think this was Sam. I'm not sure who called earlier now. I have the names, but I'm not sure if it was Sam or Ziggy, who said that the man can acquire more skills rather than just stay a car driver. He can learn how to drive trucks that possibly have, higher pay and can make more money for the family. This would be an option if this is somebody who is not lazy. If this is somebody who is thinking about the forward movement of the family, he would have already been making plans that he would have been sharing with his wife. He would have already been making plans that he would have been sharing with his wife. So in cases like this, she would already know what his next line of thought is or what his next plan what his next plan is. So she won't be getting unnecessarily upset. She will just keep reminding him that, okay, remember this thing you have planned. So even when he's upset, she will be calming him down to make him understand that, okay, don't worry, let's just focus on the next thing, it to get better and all of that. But she's not saying anything about that. And again, we don't know if this is happening, but she just didn't put it in the story. But if the man is lazy and he's not just doing enough, it's sad when somebody who is not doing enough is now the person coming home to get upset and say hurtful things to you and the children. So this is one line of thought I needed us to consider as well. What is your advice to Chika tonight? Hello, good evening.
Hello, I called back. Please,
okay,
I want to
ask very quickly, please, very quickly.
Please, I don't like the way, if we should advise this man, this man is passing emotional pain, so we don't know she's passing something. We should not be putting all the blame on her, because this one they are saying he must be doing something or something like that. This my sister, I'm telling you something. I've witnessed it. If you see the way my sister was welcoming the husband, doing everything, but an angry man must be an angry man. So we should know the way we advise this man. We should calm this man down, not to be putting blame, please.
Thank you, Chichi. Yes, Chichi does make a good point, and it's one that definitely needs to be listened to. The woman doesn't need, Chika doesn't need anybody to, just worsen the case for her. But at the same time, Chichi, we also need to point out some things that could be a factor here, or some things that she can possibly do better that can help the situation, because it's all part of advice. And nobody has said anything judgmental or anything condemning. So everybody is entitled to their opinion. Thank you very much. All right. Verbal abuse is something that is so common yet uncommon. It's so common yet uncommon, in the sense that with the rate at which it happens, it's still not as common as, or it's still not as highlighted as physical violence. It's still not something that a lot of people are talking about as much as they're talking about physical violence. And that's because there's no physical evidence of anything. There are no scars, there are no physical blemishes that happen as a result of verbal abuse, or at least that directly happen as a result of verbal abuse. Nobody has grown a third ear because the person was insulted. That has never happened before. Nobody has gone into a heart attack because they were being insulted. So that's my point. There's no physical direct consequence of verbal abuse. But over time, it becomes to show physically. When somebody who used to talk a lot suddenly becomes reserved, their personality type changes, they have consistent mood swings, or they're always melancholic and sad. That's a physical expression of what they're already going through, or what they have been going through from the inside for a long time. So verbal abuse is not easy. It's not easy to take. I know people who have been through it. It's not easy to take. It's not. Consistent verbal abuse, on the other hand, is even worse than just verbal abuse, because you experience it every day. Chika has 6 children with this man. She's a trader. He's a driver. Together, their incomes might not be able to sustain the volume of family that they have, of mouths to feed. But there are ways around it that they can be able to provide for their family without the man being so obvious and so angry all the time about the financial situation of the family. What do you think that Chika should do? The number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. Remember, you can also send a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Thank you for calling.
Santo, good evening.
Deacon Ben, thank you. How are you doing today?
Fine. Santo, you are sounding very, very happy. I don't know. Your voice is like you're not stressed up today at all.
Well,
you're not sounding tired at all.
I'm happy to hear that, actually. Thank you.
Great one. You know, Ecclesiastes. Let me start this way. The good book, the Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9. 2 is better than 1. And when 2 people lie down, I'm trying to paraphrase it.
Okay.
They produce warmth. If one falls, the other one will be there to assist. Santo, I think I understand what this lady is passing through. The family have, whether we like it or not, is into financial crisis. And sometimes you have things that, bring a kind of ripple effect. A loving man is no longer the loving person he used to be. The caring man is no longer the caring person he used to be. The Bible says, husbands, love your wife, wife, respect your husband. It's like when you want to juxtapose between the chicken and the egg, which one comes first? Does the respect come first, or does the loving aspect come first? Whichever way you look at it, the two must agree for them to live in harmony. When there is crisis in the home, how do you resolve it? I listened to Comrade when he was speaking. He made some salient points. When a man is financially down, it affects his psyche. It affects every aspect of his behavior. Even people around him will notice it.
I agree with that.
I am coming to it's a build up to what I want to say.
Okay.
Having said that, the woman also, somehow it gets to her. She's no longer the respectful woman she used to be. It's a natural thing. The man is supposed to put some money down to run some domestic things. But the man is no longer doing it. The burden is left on the woman. Sometimes it gets to the head, and the woman might react in a way that will seemingly look disrespectful to the man. It takes a genius to overlook certain things. Some of those things. That's the angle I'm looking at now. Now look at the large family they have, 6 children. It is not clearly stated the kind of driving job the man is doing, whether he's employed in a company or whether the car he's driving belongs to him. That's what I don't understand. Having said that, really, I think there's need for the woman to understand. You asked a brilliant question in the course of analyzing this thing. Has it always been like this? When they are set up for this marriage, has it always been this kind of friction between them? Has the man been like this all this while? Even though nobody is providing that answer, but I think it has not always been like that. Because if it has always been like that, the lady should have said it from the onset. So essentially, the problem we are having at hand is that of financial crisis that has snowballed into trying to bring a kind of abuse that we are looking at now. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and the woman is not happy about it. And that's why she brought this to the platform for us to look into. So I need to tell her, madam, please calm down, okay? This is a general situation we have found ourselves in our country. But I'm trusting God one day the situation will change. I need you to calm down, talk with your husband, find a means, find a way. If it means both of you looking inward, how you can raise funds or how you can ask people to support the man. If he's driving for a company, find a way he can pull out from that company and get something or start something of his own. I was just reading about Chisco. The Young Shall Grow, how the man started from a vulcanizer to a bus conductor. And from a bus conductor, the man was able to get one bus. From one bus, the man has buses all over, running interstate and sometimes within the West Coast. So this is a trying period for both and for the family. But I need her to calm down, because if you are not careful, it's just like a sword. If you don't use it well, it will come back to you, and there will be a fatal wound. So God give them the understanding to manage this crisis. It's a storm. Storm comes in every home, okay? And it's a passing glance. It will always, storms always pass, and it's something that lasts for eternal. So that's all I need to tell her. God bless you, dear.
Well, thank you very much, Deacon Ben. Thank you for calling. Oh, that was a handful. That was a very heartfelt piece of advice. I think some of the most important things in that particular comment will be the fact that she's probably doing some of the things that Comrade says she might be doing, which is having airs all of a sudden becoming more arrogant and more, feeling that she's probably superior because she's now the one paying the bills and doing all these things. And this may actually not be the case. This may actually not be the case to a large extent. It may just not be the case. But we'll never really know. We'll never really know. He said a lot of things. Dickin Ben said a lot of things. And I really appreciate you calling Dickin Ben. I don't agree with every single thing that you say sometimes on the show. But the most important thing is, according to Dickin Ben, for Chika tonight, is to know her husband's limitations, and she should do her best to just have a conversation with him, sitting down, ask him what's really going on, and then maybe she can get some good advice or at least a response to her question in a way that doesn't necessarily affect anything negative, so to speak. All right, 24 minutes past 10 on your Women Radio WFM 91.7. We're still on Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Tonight, we're profiling Chika's story. Chika is telling us that her husband is always angry because of finances. However, it doesn't mean that he should be disrespectful because he uses words on me and the children. It gets frustrating when the man that's supposed to support you ridicules you. So that's what she's saying, and she's asking for advice. She's asking for advice. What can she do? What can she do in this situation? People would say, oh, there's so much fish in the sea, or so many fish in the sea. But sometimes that doesn't particularly ring true. And that's why people try like online dating and all of that. So the point is, you don't know where it's going to go, but you go along with it already. Anyway, let me draw our attention back to Chika's story. The number you can call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. Yes, you can also send in a text and WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. So, Chika is saying, I don't know what to do. This is what my husband does, and I need advice. Typically, people don't bring their issues to adult conversations except when they probably feel like they're nearing the end of their rope. And he's saying, what's the situation? What can I do? And all of that. So I wanted to just highlight that emotional response, that emotional moment. The reason I want to, hammer on that a bit is because it's not just words. It's not just words. It's not just you sitting down talking. It's not just words. It's the ability to help the situation. It's the ability to help the situation. So, Chika now she didn't say that she's the main provider, but she's saying that her husband is not doing as much now. So that makes me wonder if he's a lazy person or not, or if he's just doing him. I don't really know, but I do think that there's some level of, how do I phrase this now? That there's some level of lost my train of thought. All right, let's get back to the story. I'm going to take the phone lines 07000 917 917, 07000 917 917. Also send a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Call in and share your advice with Chika. Hello, good evening. Okay, please call back if you can. Call back if you can. All right. Yes, I was talking about the emotional abuse, the emotional trauma. It's a real thing, people. It's a real thing. So it just takes a little bit of more time, possibly patience. And according to a good amount of people, these same time and patience are factors that will help the current situation of things as regards music. So, well, yes. So, but I need you to call in. I need you to call in and give advice to Fave on that one. So, at this point, it's crucial to know that Chika herself and her children, listen to cases. I mean, Chika's story right now with that of her children, which is the fact that he what's it called now? He talks down on them, and she said he uses hurtful words on her and the children. To a large extent, depending on how old the children are, they can bounce it off, they can do whatever it is they want to do. But when your child is younger, then there's so much more to be done. There's so much more to be done. You don't want them running away from you when you come into the house. You want them to be your friends, people that they can tell other things to. But to a large extent, the older generation does not necessarily think that way. 10:30 on Your Women Radio WFM 91.7. We are profiling Amaka's story today. And I'm hoping that we can get some responses, or at least some engagement, some calls and all of that. Now, the recurring point is that she should pray about it. She should work on it. If she can get him a job, she should get him a job. Will all of these efforts yield good things at the end of the day? This is why they say women should be able to do their own things at any point in time. And now, in this case, her husband is just there, doesn't know what to do, how to do it. He probably feels so, just invisible, basically. But whether or not the woman is doing something to make him feel this way, whether or not the woman is doing something to make him feel a certain way about the fact that she's complaining about how he's acting, there's definitely something that needs to be done about this. Most definitely. Verbal abuse is a real thing, and it can go all the way into your teens, even after teens. It can be really sad. But the most important thing here is this conversation that we're having around this story, around Chika's story, is one that should have a lot of understanding. Should have a lot of understanding, because Chika is not the one complaining about something that she's doing. She's complaining about something that some other person is doing. So when you take some of these things into consideration, you realize, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to even think about this in the first place. All right. This conversation today is very interesting because of the fact that in this case that Chika is in now, her husband is still actively working. He's still actively working. So why the aggression? Why the talking down on her and her children? Why is that the case? So call in and give advice. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Yes, good evening. Oh.
Hello.
Good evening. I didn't hear you. Good evening.
Okay, how are you? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. I'm fine.
How are you?
I do.
How are you enjoying?
Okay, I don't think that's a legitimate call. All right. I don't think that's a legitimate call. So I had to end that so I can give room for other people who actually want to give advice to Chika tonight. There's so much that she's possibly not saying in this story. There's so much that she's probably not saying. So let's just, leave it at that. I'm trying to frame the mindset behind this. That's why I took a pause. I'm trying to frame the mindset behind this. This man goes to work every day, comes back sad and annoyed, and takes out this annoyance to his people in take out all this annoyance, basically. Let me just put it that way. Now, it cannot be a situation of Chika not doing enough or something. A lot of this has to do with the man. The fact that he's saying there are not enough finances, but he's still probably spending money on things he doesn't need, or just doing something for himself rather than thinking about the well-being of the family. So the number to call is 07000 I don't want to keep talking because I want to hear more from you. There's something that I want to say about this because this story is linked to a number of other things. That's why I had to mention verbal abuse because it's important and it scars children. It scars children. It really, really scars children. It takes a while for them to, get their voice back and all of that. It's not very easy. It's really not. So it's perfectly understandable what he's doing, but is it better to do it right now? So, as I said, I don't want to talk too much. I just want us to get to the nitty-gritty of this story, just to get to the heart of this story. Chika is complaining. Her husband doesn't respect her. He doesn't give her how does she put it? Let me read exactly how she said it. Yes. Said my husband is always angry because of finance. My husband is always angry because of finance. So she goes on to say, however, it doesn't mean that he should be disrespectful. He just uses hurtful words on me and the children. Again, conflicted like schools of thought and all of that. But I'm here for people who want to call in to give advice to what Chika can do at this moment. And we haven't gotten too many calls. So right back into conversation. This is a major deal. This is a major deal for Chika to bring out how she feels about her family matter, to bring it to the door and rest till later on. Just rest till later on. But sometimes everybody needs support. We all need support. And in situations like this, what is the next best thing to do in a way that it doesn't affect his whole self? Somebody said you need to make sure he's in the right space mentally and all of that. But why would he be taking it out on the children? That's why I keep going back to it. It's hard for me to look past that. Why does he keep going back to the children? And why does he keep insulting rather verbally, the baby, him, the children, her, everything? Why does he have to make her feel small before he makes a point, whatever point that is? Hello, good evening. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, this is from...
Oh, your line is breaking, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you better. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, what I would say in this issue is that, first of all, every marriage, what the both parties need most is communication. They have to learn how to communicate with themselves properly. and understand their partner to know when to discuss some certain issues with him. I would say every man behaves like a child. Every man behaves like a child, and you must always know how to communicate with them.
Absolutely.
Now, a man that is not earning much, or is not bringing much to the table as it's supposed to, you as a woman, you should try as much as possible to encourage the man, because men need encouragement. You tell them from time to time, you just try to tell them that don't worry, things will get better. Things will get better. You understand? And you kind of feel, okay, my wife also understands what is going on.
Yeah,
and
she's on my side. She understands.
Yes. And one other thing is, when both of them do communicate from time to time, you know how much your husband is earning. You know what you are also earning. And both of you bring it to the table like, okay, I received my pay, you've also received your pay, then you bring it together. In that way, the man will feel, okay, at least I'm doing something. You understand? Not you spending your money like, okay, you just see your pay and decide to pay for some things, and the man will just feel, okay, I'm not doing anything, or mine is so little that I cannot bring to the table. But when the both of you bring what, or the little that you have to the table and you plan, you know, there is saying that he who fails to plan
has to fail.
You understand? And once again, what I would say to the woman is, 6 kids is okay. 6 kids is okay. It's not a joke. So they should just plan with the little they have and keep praying. And everything will work out well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Very interesting point of view there, and very valid too. You see, the society that we live in just puts all that pressure on the man to provide. So in a situation like the one that Chika's in now, where her man is feeling a certain type of way, particularly because he cannot really provide right now, it's sad and very probably depressing even for the man. But it's the best way to take it out on her and the children. What happened to talking about it, trying to figure out, this is plan A on how to leave this place and on how to leave this hardship that we're in. This is the next step. With that, if plan A doesn't work, this is plan B. And, work on it rather than, feel a certain way and just be getting angry and saying terrible things to Chika and her children. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you. How are you today?
I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm Mrs. Okezwe calling from Ekotun.
Mrs. Okezwe.
Okezwe.
Mrs. Oségwe calling from Ekotun. Okay.
Yes.
Please go ahead, Mrs. Oségwe.
Oh, this is a very tough stage now. My own advice to her, because I'll tell her, say that I'm into that kind of problem now.
Okay. Hello? Okay. Please call back if you can. Call back if you can, please. All right. Okay. So I was talking earlier about some of these impacts that this is having on the children. If your children are always running away from you, they're not comfortable with you around, and you are a father figure, you're an authority figure in their lives, they will either start to rebel when they're in the presence of other people's parents that are laid back and not stressing them all the time, or they just become a shadow of themselves, which is not a good thing. So this is what I mean by emotional trauma. Some of the other things that they face are sides the verbal, the verbal expression of what he's saying, his anger. Why does this have to be done? Why? Hello, good evening.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much.
SPA, what's going on?
Mr. Ralph. Mr. Ralph. I'm good. Thank you so much.
I just walked in now. Before I go any further, I just want to bring it to your notice that at the end of this month, I'll be doing a pre-launch of my book. So you are specially and royally invited. So I'm going to invite you to make your phone.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think I invite your station as a corporate body.
That I was going to mention that. Is it easy to get everyone?
So that everybody going to be robust, be robust and all that. And I think it will be very sparkling and overwhelming experience, and things like that. But when you go too much, sometimes you have to. This story, this submission tonight is sometimes it does laugh. But let me tell you something very, very candidly and frank.
Okay.
Emotional abuse is the third leading killer of women after cancer and physical abuse. That's the truth. Research them. Because when you get emotional abuse, as occasioned by verbal abuse, it increases your breathing. Your blood pressure spikes. And then if you have conditions, pre-existing conditions, you might just go from there. That's the truth about it. So it's a serious morbidity agent. Kills. That's number one. Number two, divorce rates have spiked 80% in the last 1 year because of economics in marriage. It don't increase. So it's not a laughing matter. It's not what people joke about. That's not the truth about it. Having said that, I need to go to what I need to say next. This man in this story was born in the 70s, maybe 1974, about 20 years after oil was discovered in Delta State. Okay? And he was born into that era. At that time, the economy seemed to be booming. It wasn't in dire straits like it is now. Now the economy is abysmal. Everybody knows that. But does that justify the way and the composure this man is showcasing tonight? I don't think so. But I need to put out a PSA, public service announcement, to all women who are listening to me now. Right now, as I speak tonight, all women, any man that tells you he squeeze face, he come, if they react to market forces, he saying they vex because things don't go up for market. That man is not the candidate for marriage. At all. There's nothing he can tell me. So I heard you say that it happens most men, even some resource persons that have called this medium, most men, it's like, no, it is a wrong thing and it should be discouraged. Why should you stop face? Because of market forces. Then if you want to do that, then remain single. Don't get married. There's nothing wrong with that. Because you must go to, remain single. Get there. Must you marry? If you know you cannot handle the economic climate, and you can't take them out on innocent children, you can't take them out on your wife, then don't marry now. What are you doing there? What are you doing there? Any man, woman, listen to me. No excuse should be given. The woman should calm down. For what? For what? So I would say that, the biggest problem, looking at this story, is not the finances of this man. Because not driver and all that. I don't think so. I think that he has a mindset challenge. And that mindset challenge cannot be changed. Even if you and that's your wife, even if him and his wife affiliate to run a business together, even if this man gets a better job, that mindset did it. So I think that is it. any other thing that is attacked, that, okay, what the man needs to do is to try to, you are attacking symptoms. The symptoms, yes, the symptoms. Like a lot of people, they talk, we have to, the real cancer is in his mindset. And not all men, but quite a number of men have these issues. I'm so sorry, I didn't call you back, but this account don't warn me.
Okay.
So I'll be back in your face.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You can tell that there's so much more that he wanted to say, which is why he said he will call back. And I cannot even do a good job of paraphrasing everything, but he makes some very, very solid points about the, where women are right now, and the fact that he doesn't think that all men do this. He doesn't think that all men do this. Well, all men may not actually do this, to be honest. They may not have to do this, but there are situations whereby, because they don't have enough money, they are doing something that they usually don't do as often. And it's a tricky situation. And it doesn't have the Valentine around the corner. And you're seeing all these orders and all these people. And then your mind, they're like, that kind of thing. So basically, I can still take your calls because I really want Chika to hear from you. And of course, please read messages. So, lack of finances, verbal abuse is basically the two things that are highlighted in this story. But I'm trying to look at it from a perspective that maybe I haven't seen it, seen things from that perspective. All right, interesting. Okay, I'm just going to go to Facebook, read messages off of there. If you have any Facebook messages. Okay, so let me just quickly read this one. This one is coming from Promise B3 from Mount 12. Promise B3 from Mount 12 says, Chika, please, you have to endure. In as much as you enjoyed from the first child to the sixth child, you will have to live with your husband with wisdom. With prayer and supplications, make your request known unto God, and he will guide you on how to talk to your husband genuinely. I'm looking at more messages, and I want to take this one, but this is a long one. This one is coming in from Comrade. Comrade is saying, so Raphael is talking because he has it all at times. He has it all at times. So it's a question. He says, I squeeze face not that because of finance. Okay, Raphael, mindset of what? Ask him. Comrade, I see your point. I understand what you're saying, but that's Raphael's point of view. He says, to ride on until this lady talks to her husband. All we are saying here is just mere opinions. All right, that's actually true. Everything we're talking about right now is just your expression. It's just you expressing what it is that you think can be applicable to this situation. We're rounding off now on Adult Conversations. And it's interesting when we learn from each other like this. And of course, when we banter and when we receive advice from Adult Conversations family. However, tonight, I just want to say thank you for all the contributions. And I'm sure that our guests will be able to make an important decision at the end of the day. I'm talking about Chika now. Yes. So I hope you will join me again next week, Monday to Friday. Thank you to the producer, Taiwo Adeleye, engineer on duty, Michael. My name is Som Totislayo Ajama. Good evening.
You're a blessing in disguise. You make me want to do the ring around the roses. And I love the way you smile. Wanna give it to you nice. And everybody wants to hold your hand. You give me this sort of feeling in my heart. When I'm with you, you give me this sort of feeling in my heart. When I see you, you give me